Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's session. So today we're going to be working on the spine and getting your spines nice and warmed up and mobilized and moving before the day begins. Now, spines are obviously very important. They integrate all of the different areas of the body. So without our spines we wouldn't be able to properly coordinate between our upper limbs and our lower limbs, and it really serves as a fantastic shock absorber, and it's just quite an amazing structure at keeping you stable and mobile at the same time. Now we're going to start with standing, and we're going to start with feet shoulder width apart, and I just want you to begin to take some really nice deep breaths in and out. And today, instead of focusing on your feet, I would like you to bring your awareness into the movement of your ribs and your breath this morning. And just place your hands on your belly and one on your chest if you want to get a little bit more information about your ribs and how they're moving as you breathe. Close your eyes and pay attention to that lifting of the chest bone of that rib cage at the front as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, pay attention to that sinking of the chest once again. That recoil of the ribs. And just take a moment to understand where your breathing is at this morning. Does it feel like it's high in your chest, like around your collarbones or in your breastbone at the top? Or does it feel like it's low down? Which place is moving more? Is it your ribcage that's moving more, or your belly that's moving more? And which place is moving first? Is it your chest or your belly? So now we're going to take 3 breaths, and these breaths are going to be as deep as you can get, and all of your air out as well. Okay, so beginning now, breathing deep. Everything you got, all your air, and out. Relax as you breathe out until all your air has naturally fallen from your lungs. And then, at the last minute, when you feel that you've relaxed out all the air, I want you to push. Push that last bit of air out of your lungs. And breathe in. Everything, all that you got. You got a little bit more. And out. Relax, 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 relax. And then push. Flex as you push. Bring your body into flexion. And breathe in. Extend and open. And a bit more. And out. Relax, 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 and push. And breathe normally once again. Standing. Feeling that slight lightheadedness that will be present, making sure you don't fall over, and just settle back into your body again before we begin to move. While you're settling back into your body, I'd like you to begin to shift your pelvis left to right, starting to get your pelvis moving, and as your pelvis moves, your lower back will also move. Pelvis is the junction to the lower back. And I want you just to notice, and again, please feel free to place your hands over this area if you want to get a bit more information about what's going on, just how your pelvis is moving today, how your lower back is moving today in this sideways motion. Now beginning to make circles with the pelvis, so beginning to try and increase the movement going through your lower back. Now the movement through your lower back, if you want to make sure that there is a lot of movement happening just at the lower back, you need to keep your upper body still. If you're moving in circles and your upper body is going the opposite direction to your pelvis, your spine is effectively moving as a block, like a straight pencil that's just pivoting around in a circle. But in order to get the segmental movement between those vertebrae in your spine, you need to keep the upper body still and try to bend the knees and isolate these circles to your pelvis. And I would like you to be placing your hands on your lower back just to try and feel what movement is occurring at your lower back as this pelvis moves in circles. So feeling that circular movement. Good. Starting to warm up these vertebrae, and we're going to move into a pelvic tilt now. So again, slightly bent knees and still placing your hands on the lower back. What you're trying to do is you're trying to do like a little thrust forwards using your glutes, tucking your tailbone underneath as if you're tucking your tailbone between your legs, and then arching that back again. Really arch and lift your chest up high as you do this, beginning to extend into the mid-back and come back. Tucking that tailbone underneath, tilting that pelvis forwards, using the abdominal muscles, slightly flexing, and then still bent knees, arching, tucking back, and tucking forwards. When people tuck back, sometimes it feels like there's a little pressure in the lower back as you arch here. If you feel like there's pressure, see if you can just increase the arch with your upper body rather than just focusing it all to that point where you're feeling the pressure. See if you can distribute the load throughout your spine rather than focusing it to one particular joint. And it will take a lot of awareness to be able to understand which place you're loading and then how to unload that, but I would like you to try. I'd like you just to try and use the rest of your spine to help your lower back out with these tilting movements. Beginning to really open up now. Starting to use your neck, looking down as you tuck underneath, and looking up as you arch. Starting to open and close all of the vertebrae in your spine. Closing those vertebrae as you look up and tuck your pelvis back, and opening those vertebrae as you look down towards the floor and tuck your tailbone between your legs. And we're going to do 5 more of these. Starting now. 1. And each one I want you to make a little bit bigger. 2. Bring your shoulders into the equation. Start to open up your arms as you tilt back and look towards the ceiling. And round your shoulders as you go down forwards. 2 more. Open and round. Open and round. Fantastic. Good. Okay. Now for the mid-back. And we've worked the rib cage at the front, and we need to then begin to move the place in between your shoulder blades at the back. Now this is a vital part of your spine to be moving, especially if you're sitting at a desk all day. And many people who have posture that is slightly forward in the head, slightly rounded, they try to correct this posture by working on the bit that is most forwards, which is the neck. So bring your neck back, but they rarely tackle what's going on in the mid-back, in between the shoulder blades. Now if you set up your spine and you straighten up in the mid-back and the lower back, your neck naturally brings itself back on top of the rest of your spine, and you establish a strong base for the neck to sit on, and it becomes effortless, good posture. So what we need to do is get you to make sure that you have good control of this part of your back in between your shoulder blades, this mid-thoracic spine here. And in order to do that, what we first need to do is imagine you have a pencil sticking out from your breastbone, and a piece of paper in front of you, and you're going to be drawing a line upwards on that piece of paper with a pencil that's sticking out from your breastbone. And I just want you to practice this arching 10 times, so trying really to lift. And if you can't see what I'm doing there, it's a lift in the chest. Lift in the chest. Without your shoulder blades doing anything, I don't want to see any people closing their shoulder blades really close at the back. It's just the spine moving. You're trying to keep your shoulders relaxed, and they will move a little, but the focus is not the shoulder blades, it is the spine. So 10 times, lifting and relaxing. Lifting, drawing that line upwards with that pencil. And breathing in as you lift now. This is 4. 5. Begin to expand it a bit. 6, really lift. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Lifting and relaxing. Good. Now bringing the shoulders into the equation, because the shoulders rest on this mid part of your back and they will assist the movement there. We're going to use that lift, but this time we're going to open your arms out with your palms facing forwards to open the chest and arms at the same time, closing the shoulder blades at the back as you lift. So lifting up in the chest, closing shoulder blades, opening your arms, looking up, stretching and relaxing back to the center. Lifting the chest, opening the arms, closing the shoulder blades, looking up and relaxing. With the in-breath this time, breathing in. Lift the chest, close the shoulder blades, look up, hold it, breathe out, relax down. And as you breathe out, don't relax down to neutral this time, curl a little bit. And this is the next movement that we're going to integrate. So, lifting the chest, opening up, looking up. And now as you come down, as you breathe out, just bring your arms in front of you to close your palms together, pushing your hands away from your chest as much as possible, as if there was a magnet that was repelling your hands away from your breastbone. Tucking your chin and arching through there. Really curl and come back to the center. Relax, shake shoulders out a little bit, and now we're going to go through this sequence, okay? So, breathing in, lifting the chest, palms forwards, closing those shoulder blades, looking up, and coming back, breathing out. Hollowing the chest, bringing the arms forwards, pushing the arms away from the chest as you tuck your chin, breathing out, stretch, and come back. Open, open, lift the chest, close the shoulder blades, breathe in and look up, and arch. Coming forwards as you breathe out, pushing, rounding. 3 more times, breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And out. Last one, breathing in. And out. Good, and resting. Settle back into your body. Shake out your spine a little bit, shake out your shoulders. Move your neck in circles. And we're going to begin now with, again, the mid-back, but this time in a side bending movement. Using the shoulder blades to help us out, holding one arm above you, one arm down by your side, and you're going to reach opposite directions with these arms. Trying to keep your head nice and still in the middle, reaching up and down. Now this opposite movement is going to create a side bending movement in the mid-back. A nice little torsion there, facilitated by your shoulder blades. And you may hear some clicks and pops as you do this, but that's all part of it. And we're going to do 20 of these. So starting now, 1, 2, 3, keep that head looking forwards, keep it still, 4, 5, focus this movement to the mid-back, 6, 7, 8, and actually relaxing at the end, 9, as opposed to pushing through, 10, we'll get a little bit more movements going in the spine, 12, 13, 14, 15, really thinking about that opposite direction of reach, 17, 3 more, 18, 19 and 20, fantastic, sitting back, relaxing. Okay, rotation now, and one arm is going to reach forwards, the other arm is going to reach back. Okay, and we're going to switch. Head sticking forwards, fix a point on me, and reach, 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 reach. 20 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try to minimize how much your hips are moving. 12, 13, 14, keep it to the spine. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good, and relax, shake out your shoulders. Okay, how much time have we got left? Good. So, moving finally to the neck. So we've warmed up the lower back, we've warmed up the mid-back now, we've warmed up the breath, and we need to make sure that your neck is nice and happy and moved. So, with the neck, we're going to start with some side shifting movement, and this does look a little unusual, but it's very, very useful for the joints in the neck. So what I want you to be doing is moving your head almost like an Egyptian, one side to the other, and be gentle with yourself with this movement because it does compress one side of your neck and the other, and just get it used to that shifting side to side. Now this will open the joints at the lower part and close the joints at the top part of your neck. And we're going to do 5 more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now looking up towards the ceiling, closing your jaw, putting your tongue towards the roof of your mouth, and looking up. Directed by the chin. Good, and down. And we're going to do 10 of these, and each time you're looking not for an increase in the stretch, but an increase in the comfortable range you're going through. So you're asking yourself, is there a better way I can do this? Is there a better and more comfortable way I can look up and still get the same range of movement? Maybe that's breathing in as you look up. See how much of a difference that makes. Maybe that's aiming your chin behind you. As if you're trying to touch your chin to the wall behind you. If there's any pinching, adjust. This is number 5. And if you're getting dizzy, stop. Okay. I'm starting to get a bit dizzy, so I'm actually just going to stop there. Number 6, and let's go into a forward flexion now. So, bringing your head down and rolling, tucking that chin, bringing your head down and coming back up. Now with this looking down, I'm happy for you to move into the upper back. So into the top of the spine in between the shoulders, but we really just want to open up those neck joints. Looking down, coming back to neutral. I'm going to do this 4 more times. Looking down, coming back to neutral. And down, and back. And down, and back. Last one, down, and back. Fantastic. Take a moment, shake out your shoulders, see how your head feels. Okay, now looking at stretching out the muscles around the neck, what we're going to do is drop your head downwards towards the armpit on one side, as if you were looking or trying to get your nose to touch the armpit. And in this position you should feel a stretch on the opposite side of your neck, going down from the back of your head down to the shoulder. And this is a trapezius stretch in this position. And I want you to slowly try and bring your chin to touch the front of your chest. Really slowly now. And when you do this, what you should be feeling is you should be feeling the stretch move. And it should start to move around the back of your head and around the back of your neck. I want you to find that continuous line of stretch and move it from one side all the way to the other as you look towards the armpit on the opposite side and back again. Just practice finding that stretch all the way along the back of your neck and breathing all the time. Don't push it, relax into it. Stretches are most effective when they are comfortable. They are least effective when they are really intense, like, oh, this is probably good for me. It's not actually good for you. Your body tells you what it likes because it feels good, not because it feels painful and you need to push through. No pain, no gain. No pain, no gain gives me a lot of work. So if you want to end up in my clinic, feel free to push through these movements. Okay, now as you reach the end range of this movement, feeling that stretch again, instead of going back, I want you to start looking up. Now as you look up, keep your jaw closed, keep your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and bring that stretch into the front of your neck. Try again to complete that circle so that you're actually feeling that stretch translate all the way around the tissues of your neck. From the front all the way around to the back in a circular fashion. Nice and slow, don't go too fast, keep it comfortable. Any dizziness happening when you look up, just stop. Take a moment, wait till the dizziness has passed. Okay, last one of these. Nice and slow, really concentrated, breathing all the time. And back to the center. Good. Okay. Final movement we're going to do today. We're going to be, well, let's do a couple more actually. We've got 6 minutes left. That's plenty of time to do a couple more movements. So the movement I want to start with is a whole rotation of the spine. And this is a lovely, lovely movement just to get your whole spine moving. And what we're going to do is you're going to take a step forwards with your left leg. This will pre-position your pelvis into left rotation. And what you're going to then do is you're going to look around to the left-hand side, bring your arms up to chest height, and you're going to rotate your body towards that left leg. Reaching out behind you, coming back to the center, and reaching out behind you once again. On the opposite side, coming back to the center. Now this time leave your head behind. Reach out behind you, keep your head looking forwards. And same the other direction, reach out behind you, head looking forwards. Really nice, counter counter rotation at the base of your neck, keeping that movement. Good. 3 more of these. 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic. Coming back, stepping forwards with the right leg, rotating in towards that right leg, arm at chest height. First look where you're going, reach out behind you. Come back, rotate the opposite way, reach out behind you. Good. Now keep your head fixed forwards. Reaching but counter rotating, so your head stays where it is and the spine moves underneath the head. 3 more of these. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. And come back to center. Now, to finish today, one of my favourite movements, the roll down. We're going to do 2 roll downs just to finish. So, stand with your feet shoulder width apart, just gently rest into your body, tuck your chin and begin to look down towards the floor, breathing all the time. Soften the knees so that the hamstrings don't stretch too much. Breathing and relaxing into this forward bending movement. I don't want any tension in the shoulders or the arms as you go down. The neck, keep checking on the neck because the head will want to look up. Don't let it, just allow it to be a dead weight that pulls the rest of your spine towards the ground. When you reach the bottom, take a deep breath. Breathing out and relaxing. To come back up, press your toes into the ground. Straighten your knees. Engage your glutes to pull your pelvis underneath your spine and feel each vertebrae stacking on top of the one below, making a solid vertebral column from the pelvis through the mid-back. And when you get to the mid-back, lift that chest to allow a stable base for the head to rest on top of. Take a deep breath at the top and release any tension that you generated on the way up. Relax into standing. Looking down once again, rolling from the neck. Keep your eyes closed for the second one. Feel the opening of each vertebrae in sequence as you roll down from the top to the bottom of your spine. After the neck has moved, then the mid-back starts to move. Don't let the neck move and then the lower back starts. It should be going down in sequence. Rolling down, the knees bent. Feeling that stretch descend your spine and breathing into it. Relaxing on the out breath, letting that head be a dead weight that pulls you towards the floor. Breathing. Relax at the bottom. Soften your whole body. And when you're coming back up, push your toes in, grip your toes into the floor, lift the arches, straighten the knees, engage the glutes. And when the lower back begins to make it stack, make sure that as you get to the chest, you lift that chest up towards the sky. Remember that pencil drawing a line upwards movement. This will ensure that when you roll your head on top of that stable base that you've created, it will be resting on top of a spine that is nice and straight. And take a deep breath and relax into standing. Good. So that's where we're going to finish today's session. Thank you very much for joining. Hopefully